Election 2024. What is all the talk about LGBTQ moving post-election? As the 2024 U.S. presidential election is over, many Americans are preparing for the upcoming 4 years of the country. As the Republican Party wins, what does the future hold for marginalized communities, particularly LGBTQ plus individuals? Republicans and Democrats have vastly different visions for America's future. From debates over universal health care, viewed by some as a socialist utopia, to conflicting stances on civil rights, taxation, and abortion, the divide is palpable. Some voters push for expanded civil rights while others advocate for stripping LGBTQ protections. In the wake of every election, an Instagram account has made waves with a series of videos recommending countries Republicans and Democrats might want to consider relocating to if the opposition wins. Gay social media is full of posts, comments, and conversations about considerations of moving from one state to another to even another country. Against this backdrop, many in the queer community are beginning to wonder what might happen to their rights and with democracy when Donald Trump takes office again in January 2025. With the prospect of heightened discrimination and legal challenges to hard-won freedoms, it will not be a surprise if some LGBTQ individuals are left wondering if they too will need to seek refuge elsewhere. Donald Trump said today a top priority is to unite all America, and we can only assume he means all. Now, I have a particular stance that some of you may disagree with. The stance of, I don't know what y'all gonna do, but I'm a peace out of here is not a stance that I personally agree with. We are living in a challenging time where our rights are threatened and sometimes our safety is threatened. But if you're in a position where you can fight, I implore you to choose to fight politically. Fight for your freedoms. If you are in a beautiful household and there is a crack in the foundation, please don't just leave the house. Get it fixed. Find some help. We have power in numbers. So if everybody jumps ship, or if most people jump ship, we are leaving this country that has so much potential to the opposition, and we do not want to do that. I personally will not be leaving my home because of the Republican Party. They will not push me out of here. Because on the opposite end, when I do bring up criticism of this country, the first thing they say is, if you don't like it, get out of here. I'm not listening to them. I'm not going anywhere. They will see me. They will hear me. Now, an additional point, I have friends who are obviously shaken by this. There's a lot of people shaken by this, but two friends I want to bring up specifically, my friends Jorge and Hector. They shared a conversation that they had this morning. Now, Jorge and Hector of House of Trouble are engaged to be married, and they had to have a conversation on whether they would have to rush getting married because they don't know if their rights would be taken away to get married. I share a similar concern already being married if our marriage rights will be compromised in any way. But it was just so disheartening to see an actual conversation from two people I love very much questioning whether they will actually be able to get married. Because when I got married, it was one of the best days of my life. And I do not want that right taken away. So we do need to stay here and we do need to fight so that we can keep our rights.
But, I totally agree with you. It does hurt, though. It hurts to see people that you love, that you think are family, and happened to me, that, they have no qualms to vote against you. They say they love you and they support you, but they have no problems voting for Donald Trump's agenda. And as a Latino living in Miami-Dade County, this basically, it affects me profoundly. I mean, it's to see how our county has become solidly red and how things are changing. They want everything, every office in Dade County pretty much, and at the local level and state-wise, we also lost everything pretty much. And to see that our county and our state has become so extreme, and it's not just Donald Trump, it's Ron DeSantis, this continues, and things are going to turn for the worse if we need to, continue fighting, of course, but things are not changing anytime soon, not just for the LGBT community. I believe for women's rights and for reproductive rights, this is not going to end here. They're going to go for IVF, for birth control. This is not ending here. And for us, the legalization of gay marriage. So we have a lot to fight about. And it's painful to see people that you think that are your allies and they're not voting to protect you. They're voting against you, knowing what's at stake. And that's pretty painful.
That's true.
You know, I very much want to agree with you. And I think ultimately I do. But I also recognize that there are a lot of us, this guy, we need to take some time to like lick our wounds and figure out how to move on. Sure, of course. Can I say, oh, I'm just going to piss off and go play someplace else? Yeah, I can say that. But I don't know that I believe that yet. I need time to like think about it. I have a friend who suffered outrageous loss in the last few years. Outrageous loss. And her heart bleeds every day. And for her, I can see the need to kind of disappear now. But when I woke up this morning and I saw her first post, which was, bitches, I'm going to be louder and gayer than I've ever been.
Yes,
I was like,
Mom.
there's the strength that you need. There's the strength that she has.
You got to build that thick skin.
And so I'm hoping that we all find that strength somewhere.
That's right.
Yeah, and I agree with you all too. I think, being someone of a generation that went through all the marches on Washington and the parades in New York and fighting for marriage equality, we have to go back, and it's uncomfortable. I was probably living a little bit of a bubble, living in the New York area for many years, and came down here and I was like, what's going on here? We're in a little bubble in Wilton Manors, but the rest of the state's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like to think, and I'm hoping that, I know he won't watch it, but that if someone knows or gets this to Donald Trump, you said on television that you want to reunite the country. I want you to put your, those words to action. We will be out in force. We want to certainly support the future president of the United States, but we're a force to be reckoned with as a community. So, please hold your word and let's be united.
Well, the problem is there's no one that's going to be able to keep him accountable because he's got a green light.
That's true.
He's got a green light.
Well,
Right.
He's got the majority in the Senate. There's nothing's
The
gonna get
House is
overturned
his
by the
too.
Senate. The
He
House
got
is his.
everything. The Supreme Court is his.
So-
So he got all total powers. This is being so outrageous because there is always counterbalance, right? So there is always some kind of.
But we can fight the fight. We've done it before.
Do not underestimate the power of the citizen.
And we
This
can
is our
also,
country.
we can set up boycotts. We have supporters.
Boom. He's
allies.
going to hear us.
Absolutely.
He's going to hear us.
Absolutely.
We not going to lick your wounds, get a thick skin, and then we going to get back up because he going to hear us.